Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make a Neocities site completely from scratch. So this video is for people who want to make Neocities sites and have never dabbled in web development. Updating your Tumblr blog in 2015 by sort of changing the hex code does not count as web development. Let me put that right there. Well, it does. I mean, I don't want to gatekeepy here, but you know what I mean. Anyways, if you're slightly more advanced than this, if you spent a bit more time adjusting your Tumblr blog, then maybe this video isn't for you and my later videos will be more advanced. So a bit about me. In middle school, I essentially didn't have any friends, so I spent a lot of my free time making websites. So yeah. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at what a website needs. So every website needs something called index.html. So this index is kind of your homepage, and it's showing people this is essentially where it's showing the sort of software that's opening up the website that's reading it. It's showing them, hey, this is the homepage. So the homepage at the moment is the default Neocities thing, but we are going to change that very soon. Another important thing you need to do is if you, for example, want to put images into your site, you need to put them into this folder. This is essentially your folder that's going to be hosted on the internet. Think of it maybe as I'm doing this right off the fly, but maybe think of it as kind of like a storage locker, and sort of your house is your laptop, but this is your house is the local files on your laptop, but this is sort of the storage locker, and all the stuff you need for the website will be stored here. So that's why you need to put up all the images or all the MP4s or all the MP3s that you want to have on your website. You need to put them up onto this thing, basically, this folder, if you will. So the first thing you need to do is to install this thing called Brackets. I'm just going to search it up right now. And what Brackets is that it's a code editor, and it's free to download, and it's really good. The thing is, the reason why I'm asking you to download Brackets is because the Neocities, they have their own code editor, but I wouldn't say it's the most beginner friendly. I can show you later why I don't really like it. But anyway, download Brackets, do that thing. I already have it downloaded. So come back when you've downloaded it. Okay, so I'm assuming you've come back and you've downloaded it. So let's start off by creating a folder. So I've decided I'm going to create a website that is solely devoted to fans of Nicki Minaj and Björk. I know, it's very, very fascinating. Anyways, so I'm going to create a new folder. Sorry, my desktop is extremely messy and I'm exposing it right now. That's disgusting. So I'm going to call it Bjarbs, a mix of Björk and Barbs, which are Nicki Minaj fans. So that's where all of my website stuff is going to be. And then I'm going to transfer all the stuff into here, into my virtual storage locker, which is this essentially. Hi, this is me from the future. Actually, in this video, we never get to uploading it to Neocities, so if you go to your Neocities site, you won't see any changes just yet. But I will do that in future tutorials, probably in the next one. So yeah, stay tuned. Okay, so I'm going to open up Brackets, and then I'm going to File, Open Folder. It's on my desktop. Boom. Okay, open. And then I'm going to create a new file. So you press File, New, and remember that index.html thing? So what we're doing is we're making our home page. So I'm going to save this as index.html. You need to have the .html because at the moment it will just be a normal text file. You need to let them know that you are creating an HTML file. So save. What I'm going to do now real quick is I'm going to basically do a quick shortcut because no one, let me tell you, no one who makes websites nowadays makes it completely from scratch. They usually have a template like this. So I'm going to copy this and paste this. So I've now copied and pasted it. I'm going to save. And this here that I've highlighted, doc type HTML, tells us that the document type is an HTML. And essentially, HTML has these brackets. HTML is essentially defined by brackets. There's an opening bracket that looks like this, and then there's a close bracket, which is the same as the opening bracket, but it just has this /. So this is all standard stuff you need to have in the website. If I'm being honest, I've got no idea what this means. So I'm just going to delete the stuff in the body section. The body is essentially the stuff that you're putting inside the website. That's like the content, the meat of your website, if you will. So I'm going to just delete this. And I think it's interesting to look at what this means here. Oops. Okay, what it means here. So this here, the title, represents the title that your tab will see. So firstly, in order to test out a website on brackets, you need to press this lightning bolt button and it will show up in your thing, in your browser, whatever you set it to. So here, the title is called My First Site, if you look at this here. So that's what shows up on your tab. It shows up as My First Site. So you can change your title. So let's start off with changing our title. So this is what defines a title. I know, it's very well named. So I'm going to set it up to Bjarbs United. Oops. Bjarbs United. Great. And now every time you make a change, by the way, and you want to test it, you have to save and then you have to test it again. Or you could reload your page if you wanted to. So boom, it says Bjarbs United with 2 exclamation marks. Great. So that's the title. You can set it to what you want. And now let's go into the body. Oh, and this, actually before we do that, it's important to look at this. This is what basically defines your style sheet. So you need to think of it in different ways. So there's 3 components of a website. There's the HTML, there's the CSS, and there's the JavaScript. So think of the HTML as maybe a person's body. Think of the style sheet as the clothes that they're wearing. And then think of the JavaScript as the brain. So all the logic related stuff and all the user interaction type stuff should be done with JavaScript. So in the case of HTML, we are building up the basic sort of, there's no frills, there's no sort of individuality to it yet. It's just everything is bog standard. The only thing that we are changing is the contents. So the sort of body of the person, if you will. Okay, that's a really creepy metaphor. I'm not sure if I'll use that again. So the thing is here in the Neocities site, in the basic template, it refers to something called style.css. So what you're going to do right now is you're going to create a new file and call it style.css. This .css just means that it is a CSS file. And this just means that you're creating something that it's looking for something called style.css. It's telling you that it's a style sheet. It's telling you that it's a CSS style sheet. So let's start making our website. So first thing is every website needs a header. So for example, it's like saying every Word document that you make has a title, needs a title, like a heading title, right? So let's start with a header. So the biggest header, the H1 header, is defined by creating an open brackets, typing in H1, and then closing the bracket. So I'll just do it again, H1, and then close the bracket. And then on brackets, it creates the other closed bracket, which closes it. So for example, if you write something outside of this, it won't be part of the header. Let's actually test that out. Let's save and test it. You see this? This is not header text. Header text is usually a lot bigger. On a website, if you do have something in this Times New Roman font and it's completely out of what you've typed in within your sort of headers or text or whatever, this means that you've probably written something that's outside of a bracket type thing. So I would be wary of that. So let's start up. So now let's write something within the header, so you know at least what it looks like. So let's say Bjarbs Unite. Bjarbs, the official Bjarb fan page. The official. I'm not sure if my spelling is like correct, but great. So we've written the official Bjarb fan page. And boom, this looks like a header. It's in your face, it's bold, she's there, she's ready to make a statement. Great. So now that we've got our header, let's make some body text. Let's say we want to create a paragraph. This P means paragraph. This is sort of your basic run-of-the-mill text. It's sort of the normal body text you would use on a Word document. Honestly, think of this like a Word document, and then you're set. So let's say you want to say, I love Nicki Minaj and Björk. Oh my god. Björk. So this is the website. So I made this. And then you could add a little like smiley. No, I'm not sure if that'll work. So I made this website for them. And then smiley face. Will that work? Yeah. So I love Nicki Minaj and Björk, so I made this website for them. So you can more or less write what you want. You can use all the characters you want as long as it's within the font and you're within these P's things. Okay, so just make sure that you're within the same thing that you started with. You shouldn't be within the outside of an H1 and the inside of a P. That doesn't work. You need to be within the opening P and the closing P to get a paragraph, to get a body text. Great. So now let's go into some basic style.css. So let's say we want to make the background of this website pink. So to do this, CSS is not anything like HTML. This is like speaking French and English. So it shouldn't, you need to throw out everything you know about the opening and closing brackets and stuff like that when you're dealing with CSS. It works completely differently. So I'm going to start off with creating a background color. So in order to do this, I need to refer to the body of the person, right? So the body is essentially everything that's within the website. The head is the stuff that is not inside the web page itself. So I can go ahead and do body. You just type in body, and then you need something like a curly bracket. I know, it's really weird. But then you can say, and then to set the background color, you need to type background dash color. The cool thing about brackets is that it can fill it out for you. And look, you can scroll through all these colors. But let's say I want pink. You can even type in hot pink. It counts as a color. So I save. I test. Boom! The official BR fan page. I love Nicki Minaj and Björk, so I made this website for them in hot pink. To look at that. So, in this video, we have covered the basics of text, how sort of this whole like website hosting stuff really works, and some very, very basic HTML as far as H1 and P goes. So in the next video, I'll be going more in depth into the types of text you can create and some more advanced style things you can do. As I said at the start of this video, this is a really basic video, but I will be making something more advanced. And then one more thing I would like to point out is that there are some really, 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 really great resources for web developers out there. One of them is called W3 Schools. And then if you type in W3 Schools HTML, you will get how to do everything in HTML. It's very, 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 very comprehensive. So there's something like if you want to look at headings, for example, you can do that. If you want to look at quotations or colors, you can do that. So yeah, it's actually really, 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 really helpful. You can even use emojis in HTML. I didn't even know that. Yeah. So if you like this video, let me know. I'm also letting you know that I'll be making a webzine, or maybe just a normal zine type thing, going through this in more detail. So this video kind of serves as a companion to that. But of course, I've procrastinated and I'm creating this first because I just love the sound of my own voice. Okay, I was just kidding there. Anyways, I'm going to shut up. And yes, that concludes it for today. So see you in the next video.